Okay, here's the plan. I was gonna make a bigger video about like self-help, self-change, and then I realized, oh, I didn't really like how that sounded, and I kind of said it a little too pretentious. I'm just gonna try my best to talk about life as a fucking gaming dog. I also wanted to make this video about me talking about like a class, but then I realized, wow, this kind of sucks and is kind of boring as I was like saying it out loud. I don't know. I want to make stuff that's like very highly edited and there's like a good chunk of like live action sections, really well edited stuff with like 3D modeling stuff. I don't know. Today I watched like the new Naked Jakey video where he's revisiting Red Dead 2. You can see like the evolution of his style. You know, he's still on the ball, but he has higher quality camera. He's like recording in real life, and he has these little sections where he's writing stuff down. But how do I want to structure this? Do I want to talk about what I want to make, or do I want to talk about like life and stuff, which is kind of why I started doing this. I'm on the topic. I might as well talk about what I want to make. I think at least topic wise, I want to do like I want to kind of do a bunch of different stuff. I kind of want to do like media analysis, video essay type deal, like just any media I'm kind of into. Maybe make them not as like video essay, like oh this is a review, like oh this is the objective parts of it. I kind of want to talk about how they like more like retrospective type stuff where you kind of talk about the objective aspects, but most of all talk about how like this piece of media makes you feel and how it's impacted you. Like I really want to do that because I think I've been more on my feels as of recent. Like I feel like I'm more aware of what where I'm at emotionally and how I feel. And I don't know, I kind of want to talk about it. What else is there? Obviously media, how it affects me. I also want to make like just talk about like life stuff like this, but maybe in a more like grand sense. But I don't know. I like. Here's the thing. What I like about like pretentious ass like self help videos, like top 10 ways to ruin your life or whatever by the one bald dude. Like that's a really good video, but there's like a little bit of pretentiousness to that someone could like kind of brush off his message. I really like how that video is shot. I really like the message behind it. Like I think being able to say this is how you ruin your life and having it be something that someone can like sort of relate to and see themselves in is a very effective way of getting your point across that I really like. And I want to do similar thing. I don't know. I think I want to talk about stuff like that plus talking about media because I think with art and media, I think people really underrate how much that can really affect you. Their messages, even like simple messages like okay, I'm gonna talk about One Piece. If you don't want to hear me talk about One Piece, don't hear it. I think Luffy as a character, while being annoying from the outside, I think when you really get into One Piece, when you really look down into it, his simplicity, he's like a straight line in a field of noise. He knows exactly what he wants, even if it's really fucking annoying. Even if he's saying fucking meat or whatever. I think as you grow older, that level of simplicity, even while sort of childish, is really admirable. Like, even though obviously the world isn't as simple, even though our feelings and our wants and our morals are not like as as straight or like clear as like a fictional character, I think wanting to be like nice or good for the sake of being good or like wanting something because you want to do it to help others is admirable even as like I get older. I think when you get older you expect, I mean things do get more complicated, things life get harder. um you start seeing more aspects of people, you see the ugliness of people, even like people you care about, and you kind of want to help them. You don't know how. What was I on? Just media in general. You can just learn a lot from it because like a lot of shit is just made by people. and you can be like, oh, they lived through the same experiences as me. Oh, that's another video I want to make. I wanted to make a video called like Schlop 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 Piggy Schlop. I love my Schlop. Yop Yop Yop. That doesn't have to be the title. That's probably the intro of whatever I'm saying it. But yeah, I want to just talk about like Schlop content, transition into AI stuff at the end, and then have this whole like message about, you know, art. There's also other video I want to make because the goal is to get a video out by the end of the month. I mean, I could say that this is my video, but I wanted to like edit something. So I'm thinking of this other stuff. Like I was gonna talk about Smash stuff. As you can see, I'm playing Smash. If you couldn't tell, I like a bit of Smash Brothers. Not as much as I used to. I want to talk about that and my experience with that, and also combo videos and how like I don't know. I guess pro gaming Smash affected me, young lad and child, in my self-worth. I don't know. I don't know if that's too much. Maybe I just talk about combo videos as like a concept instead of just like me. I don't know. I want to put some personal aspect onto it, but whenever I start talking about it, like in a scripted setting or whatever, I feel like I'm putting too much self-importance onto my, you know. But then again, I see other people doing it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that. Then I think about it, I was like, am I doing the main character thing? Do I think I'm the main character? I think to an extent, a lot of people think that, like, inherently, not inherently, but intuitively, what's the word? Like you have to learn that there are other people outside of yourself instead of like the other way around. And I don't know, I feel like leaning too much. I gotta remember there are other people. I remember there are other people outside of me that don't want to hear me just yap and talk. That's also something I want to talk about in the shop content video. Like, the reason why there's so much schlop content is because that's how you get the views. That's how you by making the schlop, you're feeding the piggies. It's like, obviously I'm not gonna call fucking every person that watches like shorts or fucking TikToks, I'm not gonna call them a fucking disgusting pig just because they watch that. I'm just saying it's just how it makes me feel. Like, it really is just fast food, which is fucking gross and disgusting. I work in fast food. Gross and disgusting. Gross and disgusting. Huh. I fucking hate wanting to say like, oh, you should read instead of fucking looking at TikTok, YouTube shorts or whatever. Because that's not what I'm gonna say. I don't know. I just feel like there's something else you could like fill your time in with. Or like, I don't know, just limit how much you use it. And it's way easier to say that than not. But I think for me, I'm not saying this like I haven't fucking looked at YouTube shorts ever since, but I definitely look it up way fucking less now. But I don't know, I just feel like every time I'm looking at YouTube shorts or like fucking TikTok, I just always feel it rot my brain like in real time, and at some point that real time like brain rotting just hurt too much. That's why I just had to stop, and then I just like replaced it with like reading this really easy to read book called The Algebra of Happiness. Very good book, very good read. I don't unlike other like self-help books, I'm not even gonna lie, I've only read like one actual self-help book, and then, you know, every other one I just kind of looked through from like online. But from the other one I've read, I definitely like this one a lot more. Obviously easy to read, there's little fun little pictures. I think the fact he talks in a very nonchalant way is very good. I think obviously there's some things he talks about that I don't fully agree with, but overall very good advice, very easy to read, very easy to look through. Every time I wanted to like look at YouTube shorts or whatever, or I wanted to look at like fucking like Twitter or some shit like that, I would just look at that instead because of how easy it was to read. I've been trying to replace like YouTube and other stuff because I finished the book recently, and I've been trying to find another book to replace it with. And I've been using a different book, Probability for Machine Learning, which is written in a very like academic way. So it's kind of hard to read, but I don't know, it's interesting. I'm in that field, it's interesting. And I can apply it to stuff. It's also a good reference book. Oh my god. Also, I got fucking rolled in smoke. Jesus fucking Christ. God damn. I got rolled in smoke. That was fucked up. Yeah, what was I talking about? I think I was talking about, oh yeah, doing replacing YouTube with shit. Yeah, I think you should do that if you're able to and you want to. Just like go to like a certain website and just download books or whatever, or anything you're interested in. Maybe even find like a fucking nonfiction book, a comic book, if you're interested in comics at all. There's this really good book by Scott McCloud, I think. McCloud, and he talks about like understanding comics in an academic sense. And as someone who's been somewhat interested in comics, I kind of already got some of it intuitively. Like, oh, okay, you use intuitively, you use panels to direct the person's eye. You can mess with them. You can have things go in the same time. But the way he described stuff in the book was really interesting, and it made me want to make a comic. I mean, also I had to do it for class, but it was also the only like book I actually read for that class. No, it wasn't. I read 1984. Oh yeah, I read 1984. Surprisingly good book. I just assumed it was some random shit. I'll be honest. I thought that shit was gonna be ass, like Animal Farm. I don't know. He cooked in that one. That was the last book I think he made before he died, so he got like a good one out. George Orwell got one good book out there. What was I even talking about? I'm losing I'm losing the topic. It's fucking self-help bullshit. Oh yeah, self-help's weird. Self-help's a weird industry because it's like it's a very simple idea that can apply to anyone, but it's also really like filled with fucking nauseating like know-it-all pieces of shit that think they know like everyone's situation or how everything works. Obviously, if you have a brain, self-help isn't going to be that simple, but I think when you sell it to like teenagers and like really desperate like people as this simple solution, you make them feel like they're shitty for not progressing. I think there are definitely good ones, for sure. I can't name any right now, but there's definitely been a lot of good videos that have helped me for sure. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about that. Oh yeah, so I finally did like, a lot of these videos have been going around like saying like lock in, do this one thing, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it, I'll try it. And honestly, I'll say it, it worked out for me. I think I'm in a very good situation. I don't really have to pay rent. I don't. I work like only like 10 to 12 hours a week right now in total. Even though I have two jobs, I don't need to ask for more hours. That's the thing. I can comfortably pay for my insurance, and everything, and all my gas and stuff. I'm fine right now. I'm fine right now. I can pay for my mom has allowed me to get rid of the biggest expense, which is housing. So I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing anything else, but might as well lock in. There's a lot of stuff I wanted to do with my life. But one of the thing that I focused on during this lock-in period was my career and stuff. I started really taking that stuff seriously, and what made me realize that was, I've been to career fairs before, but I've never been really prepared for one. Not once in my goddamn life have I been prepared for a career fair. And I was like, I need to improve my resume. Oh, I have no projects. I need to work on projects for my resume. Oh, I need to clean up my portfolio, which is like my GitHub, because I'm a data scientist. I still have to do that, by the way, because like, I mean, I set up the pages, but God, they're gonna take a while to like actually up. Oh yeah, I need to. I have time today, so I might as well work on it. Let me actually put that down. Yeah, okay. I think I can probably improve that project about sentiment analysis just with a few ideas I have in my head. Like I could probably look into what words were said. Oh, also, I wanted to know, I did sentiment analysis on Taylor Swift songs and the popular ones. That's like sort of interesting, kind of. But I didn't analyze it very well. I could have definitely done more. Like it's not an amazing project. But I needed something else on my resume. And I was like,
I was told by like my career center person. I was like, hey, she was like, hey, you need to have 3 projects. You don't need to have 3 projects, but 3 projects looks better. So I'm like, okay, I'll put this here. Right now I'm working on a different project that I think will definitely be better. Um, a concept that was shown to me in my English class, not concept, but more of like a recent like political thing was banned books. And I wanted to basically make a predictor, which if you didn't hear it is like an algorithm that just predicts, hey, will this book be banned? It'll predict, will this happen to this thing under these parameters, which it has. So I'm just gonna first off try to analyze what are the aspects, what are the aspects of these banned books, where are these bans happening, and then I'm just gonna make a bunch of parameters for that and then make a predictor, which is, I'm thinking about it now, way much bigger of a project than I thought. And then I have another big project I'm working on, which is computer vision stuff, which I would say I'm more interested in, but I think the banned book one is easier to work on right now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm still doing the lock-in thing. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really remember what I was gonna lock into. I remember one of the things was YouTube content, because I think I tried to say this earlier. Um, because of how the way the world looks with like AI and everything, I feel like I have to make something on my own to have any like actual success in this world, which kind of sucks that regular jobs are kind of doing this. Like you can't feel secure with a regular job anymore. So yeah, whatever. Or maybe I just fully stay with fast food, which, man, I would be an unhappy person, but hey, other people are doing it. But I'll just try my best to not do that.
We move, we change. I think one of the things that kind of sucks about self-help, not sucks about self-help, that feels bad about doing self-help is like you feel like you're kind of behind with everyone else. Like, and you think like, if only I had done this sooner. But then you think about like all those years you had struggling, coming to understand who you were at the time, understanding that you need to kind of do that to understand how to get better now. I don't know if that made any sense. I kind of sound like bullshit, but it's also how I'm trying to express how I'm feeling. Words are weird like that. Like I think like people sometimes do say bullshit. They just mash words together to make a sentence. But I think also when people say fucking word vomit, I think that's them struggling to really express how they feel in the present moment. I think I struggle a lot with that. I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people, some people are way better at being concise. I think a lot of the reason why I am so introverted in the first place is because I kind of forced the introversion upon me. Like when I felt like, I think I was already an introverted kid, but when I felt like not talking to someone, I was like, oh, I shouldn't do it because I'm introverted. And then because I learned the word introverted, and I'm not gonna blame me knowing that word for the reason that the way I am, but at an early age defining myself as this is what I am was really, and I think thinking that you are just this forever is bad. I don't know how to tell you to not think that. Oh, just don't think of yourself as this certain thing, because the way we perceive ourselves is really ingrained into us. And it's really hard to change that. And it's not like I've fully changed that. Like I still think I'm a piece of shit. I still think that like I'm inherently like awkward. I think I'm very awkward. I'm still very socially. Oh shit. Still very socially awkward. I'm still not the best at communicating. But I think I've changed this. I think when I'm in there, I'm funny. I think I'm good at talking to people. I think I if I allow myself to, I can catch the vibe easily. Like it's not hard. But I think that's what I am now. Maybe I think it's different from what I was like, I don't know, like 2, 3 months ago. If I was gonna give advice about locking in, hard, because it's not like you're actually truly locking into one thing. You're just the big focus is on one thing, and uh having an overall goal and then breaking it down to small goals, that's a big thing. And also reminding yourself that you have these goals is important. This is my cringy little self-help thing. It's kind of embarrassing, but it does help me. I have this file called a daily reminder, and what I do is, okay, so what that daily reminder is, it's an MP3 file, it's an audio file of me basically listing off my goals, how I feel about them in the present moment of the time of me recording it. And then at the end, I give myself like some advice or whatever. This isn't really like a set thing. This is just what I did. This isn't like a curriculum to follow. What I'm saying is, I think you should have some way to remind yourself every day of your goals. I think having an audio file specifically and recording you saying them is important, because then you can kind of think about where you were at the time, and that can kind of change how you're feeling about certain things. Sometimes I emphasize certain other things, or I talk about other goals more because that's what I want at the time. And not only is it a really interesting reflection, some days where like I don't know what I'm doing, I listen to the reminder, I'm like, oh, I wanted to do that, I still want to do that. Like, for example, let's talk about the project. I was like, fuck, I don't know what I want to do with the project, and I listed like a bunch of different names for projects I had in my daily reminder. And I was like, and I went on talking about one other project, which was the Taylor Swift sentiment analysis thing, because it was funny at the time. That was kind of a jumbled mess of words, but I think having big overall goals and being able to remind yourself of them every single day in a way that isn't just paper or you can really easily ignore is kind of important. Not important, you don't have to do this, but I think it's helpful. I think having this past version of yourself to reflect upon kind of cool. That's how I feel when I'm listening to myself talk about, oh yeah, I want to make more scholarship money. I mean, applying to scholarships and stuff. Oh yeah, this is unrelated to what I was talking about. I also wanted to make videos about like math and computer science and data and all that, statistics. Or maybe, I don't know, find a way to integrate all that stuff, like integrate me talking about media with, no, it's not gonna be applicable every single time. I mean, I don't know, when it's applicable, I want to combine all that stuff and topic videos and self help stuff that isn't complete garbage and doesn't feel like it's talking down to people that aren't trying to do it. I don't know. There's just always it's just like a lot of self-help content feels so shitty and like grummy to me and like pretentious, and like they say stuff like knowing your whole life. Maybe I'm just more bitter about those types of videos, because I think even like the lock-in video I watched that kind of inspired me, you could say the same thing too. But I think me personally, I'm just kind of, I think maybe I feel bitter about it because like I tried self-help stuff since like, I think it might have been sophomore, junior year. I don't remember. It might have been sophomore year of fucking high school. I've been trying to do this shit and improve myself for 4 goddamn years. I mean, that makes sense in the long term, but like, I'm like, damn, that's surprising. Maybe it's because I've just been through so many hurdles with self help and trying to be better and failing to do it. I'm just like, sort of bittered up by that sort of content. And I think what you got to do, here's the play. You watch like one or two of those videos, you run with that motivation. Maybe you watch like some other video that helps you with like scheduling and stuff. Like for me, it was the 12-week year. I really like the idea of the 12-week year. It basically runs on the quarterly system that companies run on. You know, quarterly reports like, oh, this is our earnings and stuff, which is like 12 weeks. So for 12 weeks, that's your year. And I like that idea a lot because it gives me more urgency and also allows me to fail more. Like, okay, like, let's say one of my goals for this YouTube thing is to get like 1,000 subs in like 12 weeks, which like, that's kind of a task, and I might have to give myself up and make some schlob content to do it.
but it's enough time for me to work on it, and also doesn't take me the whole year to do. It's like the urgency plus you get to basically celebrate New Year's like 4 times like a year. If you don't like the idea of that, if that stresses you out too much, I think you gotta start by making like daily plans. Because as someone who is very scatterbrained and I get distracted easily, and I also like I'm just bad at concentrating. I think having a schedule is very important, and I think also scheduling like the day before is really good too. Like I used to try to schedule during the mornings, but that was a bad idea. That was a bad idea because I was tired and I didn't want to do shit. I was like, man, I don't need to do this today. Dang. Scatterbrained, yeah, okay, I don't know. Scheduling stuff is really important. Think about what you've wanted in life, and for a moment, think of them all as being completely possible, even if you try to be like, oh, it's not possible. I'm not saying this like every single goal in your life is possible, but I think knowing what you inherently want and facing the fact of this is what I want and this is what I can do to get close to that is important. Because then you're just going to be thinking about all these things you want in life and being like, oh, I can't do it. Oh, I can't do this. It's fucking impossible. You know what? I have a pretty good situation, so maybe it is impossible for you, but you're never going to fucking know it truly if you don't try it. And I think trying is one of the most coolest things in life. I think after years of not trying to be anything, trying to be something is just like way better and way better for my being because it makes me feel like I have a purpose every single day of my goddamn life. Makes me feel like I can do something. Like at the end of my life, I'll at least have like one accomplishment. And even if I don't accomplish anything, I can still put a little badge in there that says, "You know what? Good shot, buddy." Sometimes, sometimes you need a good shot, buddy. You're doing good, man. You're doing fine, dog. Dog. But yeah, I think making it so your schedule is still tight, but also being able to have the ability to change it in a way that still optimizes your day when you fuck up is good. Like obviously you're not gonna have optimal days all the goddamn time. I think trying to get the most out of your day is good. Recently, I've been trying this thing. Like, let's say I want to like go on Twitter or whatever. I have to do like 20 push-ups every time I look at Twitter once. And I haven't looked at Twitter because I'm really weak. Like, it's sad. It's sad as a grown man. As a grown man, sometimes I gotta do them assisted push-ups, dog. I think over the summer, uh, two things personally I'm gonna lock into is probably still project work, but health. And if this YouTube shit somehow works in this small amount of time I'm giving it, I'll have more time over the summer since my constant third thing is school, and I won't have that anymore. I don't know what else I want to. There's not much else I can say that comes out of my mind. That would still play into the quote unquote theme of this video. But yeah, that's it. I don't know shit about self help. I'm just trying to be better, dog. If you ever wanted anything, I think people are lying when they say they've never wanted anything. Because I said that for the longest. I think a little bit of projecting, I guess. But I've wanted a lot of stuff in life. I want to be a good data analyst. I want to have a good understanding of the field. I want to fucking release my TV shows and shit. And you know, it kind of sucks that I probably could have started on that road like way earlier in my life. But you know, better late than never. Ooh, also the other videos I wanted to make are probably like story videos or like pseudo pilots to the shows I want to create and the movies I want to make. If that made sense to you, fucking smash my subscribe button. Grab with your subscribe button. If you, oh, that's it. You know, I'll end this fucking video off with one thing. I think one of the scariest things with being a person is feeling like you haven't changed in like a significant way, or people are like, "Oh, you haven't changed" or whatever.
I think that's like really terrifying. Because what could they mean? Like maybe they mean my humor. Like if they mean my humor hasn't changed, I think that's kind of funny because my humor is not good at all. Oh yeah, I just hate the idea of being the same person I was like last year. And I realized that I was the same. Like I realized last quarter of my school, I was like, I'm still the same. I'm in the same goddamn situation. Am I just gonna be like this for the rest of my goddamn life? And I just looked at myself and I was like, I don't want to be this. And you know, I'm not where I want to be at right now, but I'm better than what I was. So if you also hate the idea of being the same person, try to improve yourself in small ways, big ways. Either way, you're moving towards being a better person. I still don't know shit. Don't, don't. I will say though, I've gotten better at talking. I think I'm just more of a yapper. Uh oh. Oh, he's an idiot. Oh, he doesn't know. Fuck, I lost. No, dumbass. Ass. God. No, I'm fucking. I'm a greedy. I'm a greedy boy, dude. A greedy boy. No, I'm dead.